It is always nice to know the squares of some very frequently used numbers, especially if you know the squares of all the numbers from 1 to 30 or even more than 30. It is always useful for especially finding the square roots. So let us learn a trick how to draw a table of squares from the number 1 to 30. So we should be knowing what is the square of 1. What is 1 one's-a? 1 one's-a is 1. So the square of 1 is 1. What is the square of 2? 2 twos-a is 4. We know all these things. What is the square of 3? 3 threes-a is 9. Then the square of 4 is 16. Then the square of 5 is 25. Then the square of 6 is 36. Then the square of 7 is 49. 7 sevens is 49. Then the square of 8 is 64. Then 9 nines are 81. And 10 tens are 100. We must be knowing the squares of the numbers from 1 to 10 at least. Now comes the trick. In order to write the squares from the numbers 11 to 30, we are going to use this particular trick. As you know, the last digit over here was 1. As over here, this digit was also 1. So we know that 11 square, whatever the number is, it should be having the last digit as 1. Similarly, the square of 12, since the last digit is 2, and the square of 2 is 4, over here also the last digit will be 4. The last digit, remember, that's not the square. And then 1, 3, 13. The last digit over here is 3 and the square of 3 is 9. So here also the last digit is 9. And then 4. 4 fours is 16. Just we are going to write the last digit. So the last digit over here is 6. Similarly 5 fives are 25. The last digit is 5. We can just copy it from here. 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. So 6, 9, 4, 1 and 0. So we have come to know that the last digits of the squares of 11 to 20 are all these numbers. Similarly, the last digit over here also will be 1, 4, 9, 6, 5, 6, 9, 4, 1, 0. You can see there is a symmetry also. The 1 comes over here as well as it comes over here. And then 4 comes over here and then the 4 also repeats. Then the 9 and then the 6 and then the 5 in the center. But how are we going to find the other digits? So here comes the trick. You may have noticed that I have drawn a green line just below 3 and a green line just below 7. So consider this. Suppose if I rewrite 1 as 0, 1, 4 as 0, 4 and 9 as 0, 9. You might have noticed that the 0 remains a 0 and then that also remains a 0. But then this 0 becomes 1. So after it crosses that green line, the 0 increases by 1. And then the 1 also keeps on increasing. 1 increases by 1 and becomes 2. Then 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. But then we don't do 4 plus 1. We have 4 plus 2, 6. Because again it crosses that green line. So from here onwards we are going to add 2. So over here we are not adding anything. 0 remains a 0. Then after it crosses the green line, we start adding 1. So 0 becomes 1, 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 3, 3 becomes 4. But then again it crosses the green line, then we need to add 2. So 4 becomes 6, 6 becomes 8. Yes, and then 8 becomes 10. Remember, we are not talking of the last digit, we are talking of the other digits. And then 10 should also be increased by 2 and 10 shall become 12. Remember, there is no green line over here, so we are still going to add 2. So over here also we are going to add 2. So 12 plus 2 is 14. 14 plus 2 is 16. But then we see a green line. So from here onwards, we are going to add 3. So 16 plus 3 is 19. 19 plus 3 is 22. 22 plus 3 is 25. 25 plus 3 is 28. And then again we see a green line. So now we are going to add 4. So 28 plus 4 is 32. 32 plus 4 is 36. 36 plus 4 is 40. Yes, you have guessed it right. So the square of 20 is 400. The square of 19 is 361. The square of 18 is 324, and so on. So again, there's no green line. So 40 plus 4, the next number, I've just written it over there. I could have written it under 20 also. So 40 plus 4 is 44. So the square of 21 is 441. And then 44 plus 4 is 48. Plus 4 is 52. And then we see a green line. So we now need to add 5 to all the numbers. So 52 plus 5 is 57. 57 plus 5 is 62. 62 plus 5 is 67. And 67 plus 5 is 72. Okay. And then we will add 6. Crossing the green lines, we need to add 1 extra. So 72 plus 6 is 78. 78 plus 6 is 84. And 84 plus 6 is 90. So the square of 29 is 841. So you can draw the square table in such an easy manner. You can just keep on going, and this keeps on going till wherever you want. So the square of 31 would simply be, what is the square of 1? We have the last digit as 1, and then add 6 to it. So 90 plus 6 will give you 96. Why is this table so important? Because if you know that the square of 26 is 676, so whenever the sum is like this, what is the square root of 676? So it is at least a familiar number now. So that the square root of 676 should be 26. You know this. So the more the numbers you are familiar with, the better are the prospects of you solving the sums of squares and square roots. I hope you understood this, drawing the table of squares from 1 to 30. In fact, you can go up to any number as you want. You can even teach your friends. Thank you for watching.